if I was restarting my business or if I had no business at all, I get asked this question a lot. I mean, ugh, like pipeline, dry as a desert, or maybe if I was a brand new agent. Well, I don't have to imagine that because I lived it twice. Once when I was a new agent, and then again when I picked up my stuff and moved across the country and decided to start my real estate business over. Thank you for joining us today at the Agent Power Huddle. I'm your host, Dill Ward. I'm an active and highly productive icon agent here in Portland, Oregon. Happy to serve your referrals or show you around my town if you come to visit. I just love this city, and I've been in the industry for 15 years now. So today I'm going to share with you why I'm so confident that I could literally pick up my stuff, plop down in any city, start my business completely over. Okay, so here's the deal, right? It took me forever to figure this out, and now I feel like I can break it down so simple. Real estate is really two things, right? It's houses and it's people, right? And I think that well, first of all, let me back up before I dive too deep into that. Here's one thing I know 100% for sure. If I was starting, and again, if I was starting or restarting, if I was just starting, I'd probably still have a lot of fiery energy. Like, this is so exciting. This is going to work, right? So if you're a new agent out there and you're still drinking from the fire hose and learning something every day, like hopefully you are still on fire. But here's what I know. Every day, probably not even just every week, but every day, your mind just wants to mess with you and tell you, oh, this is too hard. This is impossible. I'm never going to get there. It's so much work. And that's just the thing, right? This business is a lot of work. So I got to level with you. If you're new and someone told you this is super easy, they were wrong. It's a lot of work. However, when you're driving down the road and you see somebody paving the road out in 100-degree weather, driving those trucks and cranes and wearing the little vest, I always go, ooh, maybe my job is not that hard, right? There's lots of harder jobs, but our job does require a lot of emotional labor, which is why I thought it'd be a great topic to take on today in the Agent Inspired series, because emotional labor requires so much personal development, so much mindset reset, mindset growth, pushing you to your growth edge, right? So the work that we have to do is really rocking ourselves into motion to become the best version of ourselves every single day so that we could keep showing up and offering our services to the world, right? So one thing I know is if you don't have any business or you're restarting or your pipeline has dried out, you have a mindset like vulnerability that is a landmine, right? When you don't have very much going, we're salespeople by nature, so we have a deep influence on what happens to our energy based on just the external forces of communication, from emails to social media to text messages to feeling ghosted to feeling like, oh man, I said the wrong thing, or just all the wheels that turn in our minds as we process what we've done in our day and what we're trying to get ourselves to rock into motion to do. So before I give you all the fabulous ideas that I would just shoot at you and say, just go do all these things, just remember, you have to give yourself grace to know you're in a highly vulnerable state, and that the only thing that's going to get you through to get from where you are to where you're trying to go is going to be like playing la la la, like blocking out news, blocking out negative friends, blocking out every time you're thinking a negative thought about why it's not going to work or how it's too hard or blah, blah, blah. Like, you need to keep rocking into motion and put on a podcast and put on your favorite mentor. And shameless plug for Growth Day. I love Brendan Burchard. All of his trainings have helped me recover myself from negative thinking. And just know that this is like number one. You have to do, like, morning, noon, and night. Reset yourself, release yourself, because any effort, any action that you go do in the world to try to connect with humans, to find clients, to find opportunities, to make money, is going to put you in a vulnerable state that then can just like derail like the rest of the effort that is required, right? So that's number one. Number one is mindset. Number two is there's just a lot of work required. And I'll just be completely honest with you. Um, in the 15 years I've been selling real estate, I have watched so many people come and go. And it wasn't because they weren't going to be good at it. It wasn't because they didn't love houses. It wasn't because they didn't have the skills necessary. They just didn't want to do the work. They didn't want to take the effort required in the upfront of this business to get momentum. Because once you get momentum, your confidence gets higher. There's this old saying in sales that the best time to make a sale is right after you made a sale, right? Because you're high from the sale and you're like, oh, I can go help someone else. And so it's just, this is just it. It's just energy. Okay. So once we got that out of the way, so if we knew full-heartedly we could start or restart our business anywhere, then we just have to really dial into these two metrics that I kind of started to mention in the beginning, and that's people and houses, right? So think about Zillow marketing and Redfin and all the aggregate sites that put the product in front of us, which is the houses. And that is a very popular marketing methodology to put product in front of people. And then they say, oh my God, I love that modern mid-century in the neighborhood that I've been wanting to live in. And they click it. And then somehow they get into your sticky web and now they're talking to you, right? Like it had nothing to do with you. They didn't care who you were at the other end of that, as long as you didn't seem like an idiot or someone who was just mean. They were not coming to you for you. They were coming to you because they saw the house and they clicked it and then here you are, right? So the methodology around that is marketing the product. Now, a lot of people are very successful with that. That's why they can sell us all these leads, all the online lead portals that you buy leads for. They're all doing product driven marketing, right? They're saying these neighborhoods, these houses, they're marketing the price reductions and new listing and all the categories and ways that they can trigger and stimulate buying demand through the thing. So for most of us, we all have access to the entire MLS database, right? Through whatever tools we have at EXP, we have KV Core. I've used Real Scout. I use IDX Broker on my website as an IDX feed. So we have access to all the properties. So if I had literally no business and I was trying to figure out how to get some clients, I would think about which category I want to attack, and maybe a little bit of both, but one more than the other, right? So product marketing, you can come up with themes. You can say 1-bedroom condos or houses under 500,000 or luxury homes or homes with 3-car garage. Like you can find a niche of property. And it's not that this has to be your whole niche of you and your business, but this can become a way to see if there's an audience using something very hyper specific, or houses that have hobby rooms. Here in Portland, everybody has a hobby. I don't know why everyone is into ceramics or plays drums or makes beer at home, but this is just Portland, guys. Come visit. It's crazy. But a lot of the housing appeal to people that have particular the home is already set up for music studio or clay making or all the things. And so you can create product around that. And I witness this all the time, especially here in Portland. Mid-century modern is super exciting and sexy and seems to just get 1 million views because honestly, it's great pictures, but this can be a whole methodology around trying to go and like segment to the market. You could go do home tours. A lot of the people who are getting big on the TikTok are doing it through the home tours. Their face isn't even in it. They're just narrating, here's a cool backyard, here's a kitchen, blah, blah, blah. That is one way to build an audience around something that people are interested in. But the one thing I will say about this, having done this throughout my career in different phases of it, is that it doesn't really create the same kind of commitment and loyalty to you as an agent, right? As you and the skills that you bring to the world. Can you build relationships? Absolutely, yes. But there's just still a missing component. And when I think about being an agent inspired, I think about having a long lasting career that fulfills you on a real spiritual level, where you just love the human beings you've somehow attracted using marketing. And now they're in your life, like they're just your family. They've just joined you somehow. I literally had clients find me from across the country looking up vegan realtors. I'm vegan, and they were just like, "Oh my God, a vegan realtor!" And they found me, and we toured around homes, and they literally just became like my best friends. We just did everything together. Started going on vacation together. They watched my daughter. They're like the only person I let babysit my daughter. How cool is that? That I used marketing, being my fully authentic self, when I remember how scary it was to put anywhere on the internet, like, oh my God, well, if I tell people I'm vegan, they're not gonna like me. But no, it's the opposite. The people who are just love you and seek you out even more. And so it was so great to have permission to be fully me. Because after that validation, after I sold them a very nice home and got a big commission check and got to like move on to the next thing, like it really validated me. Like I need to go harder on being myself and bringing out my own marketing. And so that brings me to the other side of this is the people, right? So we have houses and we have people, and you're either marketing houses or you're marketing to people. But when you're marketing to people, it's not, hey, I'm a realtor. And I think this is where most new agents feel kind of gross. They're like, oh, I don't want to have to just keep pushing on everyone that I'm a realtor. And I agree with you. Don't do that. That's not a great idea. But a great idea is to find problems that you see in the world that you can solve because you've either been there before, right? So for me, I had relocated. I knew how hard it was to leave your friends and family behind and literally have to start completely over. So that was like a pain point that I could speak to. I could say, man, starting over is tough, but when you get connected to the right community and you can find the right, hairdresser and restaurants and cat sitters and all the things, like you can feel home. And so marketing yourself as a realtor isn't like, I can help buy a house with you. No, it's like, I understand you. I understand where you're coming from, where your pain points are, and I can help solve them. And that's sort of that more resume marketing, right? That's like who I am as a person. And it's not how many houses I've sold and how amazing I am. It's how much I care, how much I can listen to you, how much I can relate to you, right? And there's we all have so many stages of our life too. So it's not just like one story. It's not just relocation. You get to look through the collection of your life stories. You get to say, oh my gosh, I remember when I became a mom, how hard that was. I remember how exciting it was when I met my partner and we bought our first house together. Like each segment of your life reflects somebody else's um, next level, their next level of where they're going, what they're trying to do, and having those experiences and relating back to them and leaning back into them through the eyes of looking at houses. So if you were looking at a house and you were doing relocation, you could be making a video of a house and you could be like, man, if I was looking to move to Portland, this is close to everything that is Portland. This is so cool. There's like restaurants, there's this, there's that. And like really speaking the language of the person who is excited, who's daydreaming, who's sitting across the country somewhere else thinking about moving to your town and is just researching online. And then they see your enthusiasm, they see your energy. And that's what this agent inspired series really is all about, bringing out the truest amount of your energy to use in authentic marketing to create connections and clients that you just love, that are right fit, that you're just like, you adopt them, they're yours and they're your client forever. And even if they move 5 times, you're helping them. And if you have a big global network, it doesn't matter where they move next, right? That's one thing I love about EXP. If you have a big global network, you can connect them to anywhere they're moving next to another really qualified agent. So just getting really clear that being more yourself is the key to this market. Now, I'm going to give you some actual strategies, right? So this is a lot of mindset stuff. I'm trying to get your head in the game, and everyone's saying, yeah, to make videos on internet. So yes, 100%. YouTube channel, Instagram, all that stuff. Yes, 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 yes. But here's what I would do, because the topic is, if I was starting completely over, what would I do? And I'm going to tell you, if you had no money and you had no other resources, hopefully you have a phone. Okay. Like you do need a phone and ideally a computer, because you're going to write sales contracts. But if you have a laptop and a phone, you literally have everything you need to become anything you want, to sell as many homes as you want. But here's the thing. It's going to take one by one by one by one. And how bad do you want it? If you see agents who come out the gate in their first year and they're like, oh my God, I sold 10 houses in my first year. They just did more activities than you did. Like that's just all it comes down to. This is an everyday grind. Go, go, go. And you have to rock yourself into motion. Listen back to the beginning of this session where I said it's mindset, it's resiliency, it's keeping going because connections and interactions go one at a time, one at a time. And here's the thing I would do. I would sit with my phone and actually I don't even have to make it up. I can imagine when I was sitting with my phone and I had no contacts. I didn't know anybody in the city. I went and I looked on Eventbrite and I found the events that were happening and I tried to find anything that I thought I could stand, right? Because there's always stuff that you're like, I would never go to that, right? So just try to find something you would stand. Then you go to the event. You go immediately to the organizer. You say, thank you so much for doing this. I'd probably write a little thank you card too, and I'd bring it. I'm always classy. I like to just take it to the next level. Maybe a little gift too. Maybe I'd make a little something, be extra crafty. Hey, I got no business. I got a lot of time on my hands, right? So I'd go to the organizer and I would introduce myself and I'd say, thank you so much for hosting this event. I'm new in town. Who do you think I should meet? And then I would take a picture with that person. I would, a little selfie. Hey, I want to take a picture. I want to promote this awesome event you held. Who do you think I should meet here? And have them introduce me. That's the thing. Organizers are typically connectors. They do events because they want people to mix and mingle and know each other. And so now, bam, you got your first introduction, right? And then you just keep doing this. You ask the next person, oh, who do you think I should meet here? Do you know a lot of people here? I don't know anybody. Be humble. Be open. See if you can clean up the room. See how many people you can connect with and interact with. Now, if I was back at my desk the next morning, I would go through those people. I'd go find all of them on social and they're all scattered now, right? So it's LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. I mean, wherever you're playing, right? You just go find them, connect them. Your social media should be sacrificed. If you're in super privacy land and you don't want anyone to know anything, I'm going to suggest real estate might not have been the greatest solution for you. But if you are in real estate and you're not like wanting to tuck everything away in privacy, then put yourself out there. It's free. So go connect with human beings there. They're there on the platforms. And then I would just go through and they would say how many people that we have in common. And so like, even if it's one, if you're like, oh, look at their friends. Now I have friends in common with them. I would go friend them and I would send them a message. Hey, looks like we have things in common. We both know Susan. Oh my gosh, isn't she great? Yeah, I just met her the other day. And I would just friend hacked. I would just go friend hacked until I get a bunch of friends. Okay. Until I had a bunch of people to try to talk to and get connected to. And then I'd ask all of them, hey, what other things are going on in town that I could check out? I'm new or I don't know that many people or I've been a stay-at-home mom for so many years and now I'm back in the world and trying to make connections. People love to help people who are kind and humble. They love to show them the way and go, oh my God, you got to come to this thing. Now, that is what I would do if I was going the low friction route. Okay, so that is for someone who just hasn't mustered a lot of bravery yet. And they're just like, they just have to kind of go in and try to make it happen. If I were actually me, what I would do is I would come up with any event that I could think of that would be low cost. Cause again, I'm trying to really go back to when I really didn't have much money and I had to like be scrappy. I remember one of the first things I did was I went on Facebook and I posted in my town that I was going to host a free clothing swap. And for those of you that never heard of a clothing swap, it's where ladies take their lightly worn things and throw them on a table and let everyone else have them for free because they don't want them anymore and they were going to donate them anyway, right? So I did that and I went and I shared it in every public Facebook group that was around for the town. I just shared it everywhere. Hey, free, da 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 da. I'm kidding you not. My first one, I had over 50 people come. I made 50 new friends. I'm giving them my stuff. Here's actually, I didn't even have very much stuff because again, I was new. I didn't even have anything to give. So I was getting new outfits and new friends that later turned into clients. Right. So this is like, how brazen do you want to be? How aggressive do you want to be? But then after you have contacts, now like let's just fast forward and pretend you have lots of contacts, but no business, nobody asking you to help them buy or sell a host. Well, now you got to activate your list. If you have a whole bunch of people in your phone or a whole bunch of people in your email CRM, I hope you have a CRM. This is your sign. Get a CRM if you don't have one. I see agents in the business 20 years, no CRM. Come on, people. CRM. Okay. If you have people in there, but they're not actively asking you to buy or sell, then your job is to help figure out who has a life event happening that is going to cause them to move. And I don't know about you, but I don't really love reaching out to people about nothing. If I haven't talked to someone for 2 years or something, I don't like to just be like, oh, hi, how have you been? That just feels weird, right? So I'm a huge fan of creating anything to be happening, an event of any kind, and reaching out to people to say, hey, I'm doing this event. Would you like to come? Even if they said, absolutely no, I hate that. I don't ever want to come to the event. I still got to outreach to them and hopefully I got into a conversation with them, right? Now, if I'm not brazen enough to host an event because for whatever reason I'm just not there yet, then pick an event that you're going to go to. Go look for an event and just start inviting everyone to come with you. Hey, guess what, guys? Real estate is leadership. When someone says, I want to buy a house, guess what you got to do? Lead them through every single step. So start exercising those skills in your real life, in your efforts to attract clients. Just tell yourself every day, oop, it's time to lead the way, either taking everyone to the cool new spot in town or taking everyone on a hike. I mean, anything you love to do, y'all, can be a marketing activity if you go find some humans to talk with. Now, the next layer of this, okay, so we talked about product marketing, which is putting houses in cool, curated lists out there, right? We talked about people marketing, going to find events, and then going there and meeting people one by one, or hosting events. That's leveraged effort, right? When you host an event, you're leveraging the effort because you can now invite everybody, and who comes or not doesn't even matter. All that matters is that you made the effort to outreach. But now you have to sink in, and here comes my agent inspired minute. To become the most amazing listener and kind human being and borderline coach for every human being that you possibly interact with, even at the cashier when you're checking out at the grocery store, you can ask thoughtful and kind questions to help that person engage a part of their brain that makes them think about the transitions of life that they're facing. And that's where real estate is always exposed, guys. It's always exposed when they're sharing personal information that involves how their life is about to transition. Oh, my husband's been applying for out of state jobs. That's a life event. Oh, my sister's thinking about moving here. She wants to get closer to the kids. That's a life event. When you start to hear life events that are happening that intersect real estate, ding, 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 that's like a dog whistle for realtors. And now we're not going to just attack. We're not going to be like, hey, I'm a realtor. No, we're going to ask thoughtful leading questions that help them lead them down the path of how they can accomplish their goal or where their pain points exist so they can see it because they may not know yet. You know, right? That's part of being in real estate is knowing what we have to predict so many things. So that's definitely a life skill. But we almost know it immediately when someone says, oh my gosh, we're having another baby. And you're like thinking in your head, I think you're in a 2 bedroom and this will be your third kid. Like you already see the problem. So you can't like just jump on them, but you have to give them thoughtful questions and build that relationship and lean in and identify them as someone who is going to have an inherent need, who needs to be shown the way, and then see where the obstacle is. Oh, they have a credit issue. Oh, they have a savings issue. Oh, they like what is going to be the thing that gets them in the way from accomplishing their goal, and then bringing and providing solutions and resources along the way. And so that if I were just starting brand new over, I would just go collect as many human beings as I could and see how many problems I could solve and then just keep showing up to them. Here's another tip. If you're going to get involved in anything, don't do it once. Don't join any group of any kind and just do it once. See if you can do it every time. And then show up, and then start helping, start volunteering there, start giving the organizer assistance, promoting it for them, doing more and more and more, and you will just suddenly get known by everyone. And that is the tipping point. That is the tipping point. When you come in as the nobody and then you suddenly everybody's looking to you for advice and guidance because you're hanging out with the people who have the influence and you've just been showing up consistently, congruently, kind, thoughtful, asking deep questions. This is the key, guys. This is what I would do. And then I would also remind myself, I'm going to go back to what I started with. You have to give yourself grace. This takes a lot of effort, but I promise you, as someone who did it twice, I started from nothing to a very successful place twice. I promise you it's worth it. It's worth it when business just comes to you. I mean, every day I wake up in my email, there's clients that I sold a house to 10 years ago, and they're telling me they have a need. And I'm like, oh, I'm back in service again. And I don't have to work that hard for it. Now, Will I still? Yes, because I got hustle and I got grind and big goals. And whatever your goals are, they need to be bigger. I think they're too small. There's more you could do with this world. You could make a bigger impact. And becoming a realtor was step one, but becoming a leader is step two. Leaning in, helping other people get from where they're trying to go, from where they're at to where they're trying to go is what we get paid for. And we get paid very well for the more confidently we lead people. So the work to be done today is to call a billion people, yes, but also to get your head right, to get your mindset right. When you made 3 calls and you're like, well, I'm kind of done for the day. No, you are not done for the day. You haven't even gotten started. That 3 calls ain't even a warm up. You don't want to call people? Don't call people. Text them, Facebook message them, but communicate in some way and leverage your communications. Put them all in a CRM. Do a text blast, do an email blast. Do something that gets across to a lot of people at one time, and you won't have to work as hard, but it is a 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 collection. And however many you've done today is not enough. You need to double down, especially if you want to get paid in the next 90 days. That is what I got for you today. If you're not in this place, save this episode and share it with somebody else who is just starting or just needs to be re-encouraged that they got this, they can do it. Everyone can do it if they just lean in and try, okay? Until next time, keep curious, be bold, and stay inspired.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.